Well, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life. And today, in the cryptocurrency 30-day challenge, we are 6 days away from starting. It's going to be starting next Friday, will be the first day. And today we want to talk a little bit about why the request for ID on the exchanges, on the online wallet accounts and everything, and why that's important and why that scares so many people. Because, you know, we all worry about our identity being taken and used and abused in the wrong ways that cause us issues later. You know, I have been the victim of identity theft multiple times, actually. And, you know, so I've had to live life differently. You know, I had a couple times where it was even a troll, which was just kind of the weirdest thing. So somebody just did it because they wanted to screw with me, not because they were trying to do it for financial gain. Yes, I had a ton of accounts opened at different clothing stores and a whole bunch of clothing sent to me one time. Go figure. They took it all back. They closed all the accounts and everything, but what the hell, you know? I wish they had at least got my size right, you know. Just kidding. So, okay, let's talk about this whole ID thing. And so there's Coinbase, which is the starting place that I'm recommending. There are other places out there, not just Coinbase, that you can use. And for Coinbase, I had to give them a scan or a photograph of my driver's license, both the front and back. One of the challenges that we ran into there is that I actually got blocked for 24 hours because it kept saying, take a picture of your ID, then take a picture of your ID. And it was coming up on my laptop, and it wanted to access my camera on my laptop. And so here I am holding my ID up to the camera, trying to get it up there. And it's, you know what? Your webcams are not designed to focus that close. And so I tried it so many times, and it just kept coming out blurry, and they kept denying it. And then finally they said, I'm sorry, you've tried too many times. You must wait 24 hours. You know, that happened. And so, you know, these are the kind of things that go on with this. And so my wife Lisa did a little bit of research, and what she found is that a lot of people complained about this, about how Coinbase was asking for the ID and it didn't make sense. And so what she suggested was I use the phone app, and that worked. The phone app also said something different, which the web-based version did not say, which is the reason for the two pictures is one for the front of your ID and the other one for the back of your ID. It didn't say that. It just wanted two pictures of my ID, and I'm like, okay, I'll do that. So once I used my cell phone, which Coinbase has both an Android and an iOS app, and the app seems to work really well. So you can sign up everything on the web, and then for your ID verification, use your cell phone, and then you can take the pictures with the cell phone. So, or what you can do is take the pictures with your cell phone, and then put those files on your computer and upload them, which you can do for PolandX. Now I don't know if Coinbase would allow that. If they required you, I think Coinbase didn't allow the upload of an image. So anyway, that worked. It did the trick. I got verified within just a few minutes after I took the front and back with my cell phone. Had good lighting, no glare, and everything. And if you don't know how to do that, a little trick is to have the light come from the side and not from over you while you're looking straight down onto it. And so you also, to get good lighting, because it's in your house and your lights are typically overhead, go up next to a window. And then with the window with the light coming in at the side, you can usually get a good picture. Okay, so that is, you know, some of my experience with trying to get that done. Now, PolandX, which is another exchange, and they have a different type of ID verification, which I have done it there as well. And you have to hold up your ID, and you have to hold up a handwritten note that says their name on it and what the date is, and then a picture of you. So they denied my first one. I had my ID does not have my glasses, nor does it have my beard. And so they denied my first one. So I took off my glasses for the second one, and they accepted that. But again, there are issues with PolandX as well, such as now even though my street address is written exactly the same in my account registration as it is on my ID, they say they can't verify my street address. You know, and so I've seen the comments from you guys saying different verification problems and everything, and having some difficulties with that. Okay, so you're not alone. And then there's also the fact that, like, Coinbase apparently is not available in some areas, or it's only partially available. And for those partially available places where you can deposit only, then you can deposit, and then we'll figure out after the challenge how to cash out. So your money won't be lost. But I noticed that Australia and a couple others where you could deposit, you could do trades, but you couldn't turn it back into Australian dollars or some of these other places. And so, but there will be other ways to cash out. So fear not, because I'm sure that there are Australian exchanges. So what it's going to require is that after the end of the challenge, you can either leave the money in and continue to work with it, or if you want to cash it out, then you'll send it to an Australian exchange that will then convert it into Australian dollars for you. So, by the way, all of them take a small percentage. So typically, and I'm going to get into this tomorrow actually. Tomorrow's video, I'm gonna tell you a story about when I actually used Bitcoin to buy something and what happened. So, because it was a little bit customer unfriendly. Okay, so anyway, the ID stuff. Now, the other thing about doing your ID is that can you trust where you're sending it? And that's a really big deal. So Coinbase has been around for quite a while, and so has PolandX. And I looked both of them up, and they both have a good, steady history. They've been in business for a while and everything. And it wasn't like some brand new exchange asking for this. And why are they asking for ID? Well, the reason is that they really need to prove that it's you. And I'm sure that they're trying to meet some government regulations in the areas that they serve. And I know here in the United States, to open a bank account, you have to present your ID. It's just a given. You also have to present your Social Security number. And there's just not much of a way to get around that and open an account. So, this is the government's control on some things. But this is also, it's their duty to not allow money laundering, or to not have systems set up so that this can be used as funding terrorism and stuff like that. So now, well, can they stop all of that? Hell no. There is so much. I'm sure there's a lot of it that goes on with this stuff, but it is their duty to at least do their best. I can tell you with our company, with our store, that every once in a blue moon, we have to go all the way down to the level of getting someone to send us ID to complete, which is typically very large transactions from a customer that it's our first time dealing with them. And sure, that makes people uneasy and everything. But otherwise, we just turn down the business, because even our company gets Department of Homeland Security reviews. So we haven't had one in a while, but I'm sure we're going to get another one. And we have to be able to show the methods that we do for the buying and selling of the video game goods that we do, that we are not just blindly passing money through for money laundering or terrorism or those things. So we actually have to justify where we send our money. And it's just a part of business. So do I have any concerns about it? Yes, I take a moment of pause whenever one of these sites asks me for my ID, and then I've been giving it after I look them up. So I did just a quick, and this can be done for any company. So I did a Google search here, and I just did PolandX scam. And there's a lot of things out here, and I just went to the first one here, and so here's what I found. Now, when I'm dealing with a lot of littler companies and stuff like that, and I'm thinking of dealing with them, sometimes you get in here and you see everybody saying, "Oh my God, stay as far away as possible." That yes, this is a scam. Beware. Don't deal with them. Stuff like this. And I'm not seeing that those patterns for PolandX and Coinbase. What I am seeing here is there are people here who have good conspiracy theories, and in fact, their conspiracy theories. It might be right, it might be wrong. I don't know, but it's kind of funny because this one person says, "Beware of PolandX. They use bots to pump and dump coins and Ponzi schemes." At the moment, the exchange is pumping Dash, which is a Ponzi scheme. They create big pumps, attract investors who short them, then keep them stuck for weeks. If you don't know, PolandX is designed to suck in investors, bots to create fake volume. Okay, so you are out of your mind if you think that these exchanges do not use this exchanges themselves. I mean, seriously, I'm sure that some of the volume that you see in these exchanges, like this right here, it would not surprise me one bit if some of these buys and sells were done by Coinbase themselves with their stock of cryptocurrency. Why wouldn't they? I mean, if you think about it, am I a bank? And I'm going to have the money in the bank and I'm not going to invest it to make more money? I mean, seriously. So the replies that came after that were a bunch of people saying, "I don't see any evidence of any wrongdoing here. Of course, they're going to use their own exchange and everything. In fact, it wouldn't even surprise me that if Coinbase was using PolandX for some stuff. I mean, what the hell?" And, like GDAX here has APIs and everything to where you can do the trading automated. And there are bots out there. There are bots. You can pay for them monthly or per transaction or whatever. There are bots. I have not tried any of them. I looked, but I haven't tried any of them. And they tend to be a little bit complex. But, and I think that I'm smarter here about how I make trades than any bot, but I realize that a bot could potentially make more money. So, but it could also potentially make more loss. And if you don't set it up right, it can just drain your account overnight. It's like, "Oh yeah, I'll make 10,000 trades for you overnight. Oh yes, we forgot to mention that 0.25% fee on every one of them, and your money's gone." So, it's a thing. So anyway, I have been satisfied enough with both of these to send in my ID. And so does that mean that, there's zero possibility of you running into problems? No. There's risk in everything you do. So, but I akin this a bit to PayPal and everything, which I use PayPal a lot. I've had to do a lot of verifications with PayPal. So every time you reach new milestones in volumes and everything, they come out with new stuff. And PayPal has gotten way more information from me than either of these have asked for. And so, I guess I'm used to it. And I'm used to when I go to the bank that I have to present my ID to a person there and they just type stuff in. They don't take a photograph of it, but they just eyeball it and make sure that it's correct. And then the issue is that, how do they store those IDs and everything? And if they get hacked, would those be exposed and everything? And, there is that possibility. So, we cannot, guarantee that I won't make any promises to you one way or another, but it's all about how much risk are you taking. So I felt good enough that I provided it to both. So anyway, hope that answers your questions about why the ID, why the verification and everything. And those of you who are having trouble getting through them, there are other exchanges out there. There are other places like GDAX and PolandX, some of them which I don't qualify for because I'm in the wrong country. And if you're in another country that you don't qualify for it, then, for these, then you can search out other ones, do your due diligence, and just make sure they've been around for a while. Make sure that, not every post that you find says that they're a scam, and that you're comfortable with, giving them your $100. So I look forward to seeing you in the challenge, which starts on Friday. And Friday is what date? Let's see here. Friday is the 20th, and that's the first day of the challenge. Now, Tuesday, the 17th, and Thursday, the 19th, I have 2 live shows scheduled that will not be a part of this playlist, but they will be on the channel here. And I will include a link to the live show schedule in the description. So we got 2 2-hour blocks that we're going to do live and answer questions. It'll be both on Twitch and on the channel right here where you're watching this. So plan to join us for one of those so that you can ask questions. And, I'm sure you guys are going to ask some stuff I don't know, and that's okay. We'll figure it out. And we're going to do, so coming up also, we're going to talk a little bit about actually using the coin as, for making purchases, what my experience was with my very first purchase. Then I'm also going to show tactics that seem to be working. I'm going to do some trading, on one of the shows here. We'll also do some trading on the live shows. And then we're going to talk a little bit about wallets on another day. That's going to be coming up. And then we're going to talk a little bit about all the tools as well. So there'll be another video on some of the tools that we're using. And then finally, in the last day, what my whole philosophy is, last day before we start, what my whole philosophy is and why I am treating it the way I'm treating it and everything. So, and then Friday, we're doing it. And so, hope you can join us. And there's a link in the description for Coinbase and for GDAX, but you may need to use another service. If it's not available to you, feel free to do that and get it set up. It doesn't matter where you're trading from, at least as far as the challenge goes. It just matters to you whether or not you feel like your money is safe and your account is good and all of that stuff. So do hit me up with questions in the comments. If you have other exchanges you want me to look at, feel free to mention them in the comments. You may not be able to post a link. It may get marked as spam. Just put in the name. I'll Google it, and we can take a look at a few of those as well. So if you are looking at one and you're worried that it's a scam, I will be happy to look at it and give you a reply as to whether or not I think it's a scam. Now, whether or not I'll be 100% correct, I can't be 100% about anything, but I do anti-fraud for a living. This is one of the things I've been doing for years, 20 years now in the video game industry. And so if it looks good to me, it's probably okay, but I'll never 100% say that because there's always just, that much of a chance and something can happen. So anyway, I'm Marky Dragon. Take care. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow.